We've all been there. You're in a conference room or on a Zoom, Teams, or Google Meet call, and you think you've just pitched the most innovative, out-of-the-box idea your department has seen in a decade. You're feeling like a visionary. You're feeling like the future. You're sure there will be applause that will follow. And then this happens. That one person who's been at the company since the fax machine was high tech tells you and your team, that's just not how we do things here. In that moment, you don't even get mad because deep down you knew it was coming. You just look at the imaginary camera in the corner of the room like, do y'all see this? Are we really doing this again? If this example brings up work trauma and boardroom nightmares for you, welcome to Suit and Sweet. I'm known by many names, but here with all of you as your host, my name is Lady Ray. I've spent over 6 years in the production trenches with my favorite television work family at WTVR, and now I'm a strategic consultant helping businesses fix their internal scripts with my consulting firm, Genuine Radiance. I created this show as a way to look at our favorite TV shows and movies in a way that's a little unorthodox for some of these picks. It brings home a line from one of my favorite shows as a child. Just 'cause you got eyes don't mean you always see. And please, HBO, don't sue me. Before we get into today's feature, let's talk shop. There's a lot of noise right now surrounding the death of original ideas in Hollywood. We're seeing spin-offs, sequels, and remakes of remakes. It's exhausting. As a consultant, I see companies, and some of my own clients, doing the same thing. When the market gets shaky, people stop taking risks. They lean into what worked 10 years ago. But here's the problem. Staying in your comfort zone is just prolonging the inevitable, becoming obsolete. This brings me to the spin-off of Pixar's Inside Out. I know we just complained about spin-offs, but hear me out. Dream Productions is one of the most accurate portrayals of workplace politics I've seen in a long time. In all honesty, you can't name a time when Pixar faltered in showing society just how it looks with animation. They market it to kids, but who packs the theaters? Us Gen Z and millennials, some with no kids in sight. Anywho, Dream Productions is the story about what happens when a legacy brand meets disruption. And Dream Productions were inside Riley's mind at the studio that makes her dreams. For reference, this show was done before we got Inside Out 2, so we know that there was a new control panel installed in headquarters, but we haven't seen her start to live her life as a teen just yet. And the conflict is a classic consulting case study. We'll start with Paula Persimmon. Paula is the old guard. She's the veteran director who's been running the show since Riley was in diapers. Paula isn't a villain. She's just a gatekeeper. She's the human embodiment of the way we've always done it. The boss loves her because she gets results, and the team often wonders if she took a day off, what would happen to the production? She's been there forever, and she will tell you as much. Then we have Janelle Johnson. She's the new blood. She's got a vision for high concept, boundary-pushing dreams that don't just follow the old script. She's been under Paula for years, so she knows what we've been doing, but now sees the tides turning and knows it's time for a change. She can bring that change, if allowed. She's every Gen Z or millennial manager who's been told to wait their turn. It should be important to note that Janelle is not trying to erase the foundation that Paula has laid, but build on it, because that's what you do with a good, solid foundation. Today, we're breaking down the Paula-Janelle dynamic, because whether you're making dreams for a teenager or making spreadsheets for a Fortune 500, you are currently caught in this life cycle. Are you the disruptor, or are you the one holding the door shut? Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about Janelle. Janelle is the director who comes in with big ideas. In consulting terms, she's your change agent. She's the person you hire when you know your brand is getting stale. But here's the mistake most CEOs and managers make. They hire a Janelle, but they give the final sign-off to a Paula. Paula is what I call the stabilizer. In Dream Productions, Paula is comfortable. She knows the layout, she knows her way around the joint, she knows what Riley likes. So she thinks. But comfort is the enemy of growth. When Janelle tries to introduce new tech or a new narrative structure to Riley's dreams, Paula treats it like a threat to the foundation. If you're a Janelle listening to this, you felt that wall. It's not that your idea is bad, it's that your idea requires Paula to learn a new skill, and she's already tired. She already thinks that you're pushing her out because you're younger or you have more high-tech skills. So here's the deal. If you keep pushing the wrong way, you get burnt out and eventually start to think about taking your talents elsewhere because you don't feel appreciated. When you're the Janelle, you can't just pitch the dream. You have to pitch the efficiency. Paula doesn't care about your vision. She cares about whether the dream is going to crash the system. In your workplace, stop selling the innovation and start selling the insurance. Show them how your new idea actually protects the brand's future. Now let's get into the dream productions dynamic that truly triggers my consultant brain. It's the battle between Janelle and Paula. Janelle is the disruptor. She's the person who's been studying the market, she's got the new tech, and she knows that Riley's dream studio is falling behind. But to Paula, Janelle isn't an asset, she's a nuisance. This is where that looking at the camera moment happens. This goes back to my intro where I mentioned that one person at your job that says, "But we've always done it this way." In consulting, we call this the legacy trap. I'm actually making up these terms, but go with me. Companies become so obsessed with the systems that made them successful 10 years ago that they become blind to the fact that those systems are now their biggest liabilities. Paula isn't protecting the studio, she's protecting her comfort zone. And then you have the management. In this instance, her name is Jean Dewberry. Management says they want innovation, they want new ideas, but then they put Janelle in a room with Paula and tell her to play nice. That is a management failure. You can't ask someone to disrupt the status quo and then punish them for making the people who own the status quo uncomfortable. If you are a Janelle listening to this, stop trying to convince Paula that she's wrong. You will never win that argument. Instead, you have to find the management gap. Find the one thing Paula is tired of doing and offer to take it over using your new way. Don't call it disruption. Call it taking work off her plate. That's how you get your foot in the door without getting kicked out of the room. Now, in Dream Productions, there's a scene where the management basically lets Janelle and Paula fight it out instead of giving clear direction. For reference, they let them split production staff and each make their version of their best dream. Spoiler alert, this was a terrible idea. This is the management vacuum. Management wants the results of a revolution without the mess of a war. If you're a manager listening to this, pick a side. If you want a legacy brand, keep Paula and let Janelle go find a startup. If you want a future brand or if you want to move your brand into the future, give Janelle the keys and move Paula to an advisory role. A deadlock doesn't create balance. It creates a broken culture. That's how you end up with nightmares instead of blockbusters. Every business is a dream production. You're either directing, producing, or just acting in someone's script. If you're a Janelle stuck in Paula's world, audit your environment. Are they growing or are they just waiting for the clock to run out? Before we go, you have some homework. Look at your dream team this week. Identify your Paula, identify your Janelle, and also identify your Zenny. Zenny's the new guy who's not there for either side, but more there for himself. Figure out a way to bring that person into the fold as a solid teammate and not for Team Me 5 Me. I'm Lady Ray. This has been the first audit of Suit and Screen. Join me next week where we'll head to the 90s for a Mugler audit of Boomerang. We're talking about when the vibe is the brand and what happens when the aesthetic can't cover the cracks. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and keep looking for the camera. I'll see you in the next scene.